So this is my early Sunday morning check-in for Saturday. Saturday, I didn't get much work done. I rested a lot because I've been going nonstop. I did sell a hi-fi, so that was cool. And I got to play with my kid a lot. But I didn't really do any schoolwork yesterday. I just thought about lectures. I kind of get really jazzed thinking about lectures. I don't know if y'all do, but I start getting like really excited thinking about the topics and how I want to cover them. And there's little things that I realize I do to like kind of pump myself up, I guess pump myself up. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I'm very tangential when I speak, if y'all haven't figured that out. And my lectures are like that, but I intentionally make them like that. And it's kind of like a comedy set in that I've thought about how I'm going to tie all this stuff together, but I make it seem like I haven't. So I'm taking in all of this, like, I probably haven't said this, but I read a bunch online. I mean, a bunch. And I read all the different perspectives. Like, I'm not a liberal and I'm not a conservative. I'm just Joey. And so I read Fox News, I read CNN, and everything in between. And even further out from that, I'll even go and entertain watching Alex Jones thing and go watch some crazy super liberal thing. And I like it all. I just see it as kind of like this space that we work in as communication professors. And so that way when I go to give my lectures, I have like these really broad examples of like, I don't know, vegan AR-15 owners or something, you know, something that's just, and it wakes the students up and go, oh, hey, wait, what? And so when I have like these days off, like, that's kind of more what I'm doing. It's more like the ideation creative side. I'm not like literally writing anything out or recording anything or doing anything, but I'm more just kind of like have my little anthropologist hat on and looking at everything I'm experiencing and seeing, you know, well, what would that perspective of what I just experienced be from a college student, from someone who's older? Like, one of the big bits I do that always has an aha moment, and it has for the past 15 years, because I reuse some of my material, is always ask students and colleagues, I go, how many of y'all have grandparents that play video games? You know, how many of your grandparents have consoles? You know, very few people raise their hand. I go, how many of you all are going to have consoles when you're a grandparent? And they all like raise their hands, and they're like, I'm like, yes. So we have a new media field right there. And they're like, oh, okay. And so it's stuff like that where I'm kind of just trying to get people to kind of push themselves out and then figure out how to make stuff based around that, make video projects, make documentaries, make analysis of markets, and just all kinds of things. For those that have never taken a class with me or know about my classes, I let you make whatever you want in my class. So some people are making like a narrative film, some people are making a mini doc, some people are doing like statistical analysis of stuff. And it's just all about being creative. And so like my days off are actually like the days, kind of like the days I hope my students are having, where they're just out there ideating and thinking and being very whimsical, because to me that's where new happens. So anyways, I went for an 8-mile ride just now. It felt great, and it was very low tempo. So to get like personal for a second, so I take metoprolol, and I also take benzapril. So benzapril is an ACE inhibitor, and then metoprolol is a beta blocker. And so it's real interesting because when I ride, I wear a heart rate monitor, and so I can actually see when my beta blocker is working. So if I ride in the morning, because I take my beta blocker at night, my heart rate like has a lot harder time getting up. So like I wake up, my heart rate's like at 77, you know, 72. If I go ride in the afternoon, my heart rate's already in the 80s, if not 90s. And I can, like, if I go up a hard hill, I'll at least get to 140, 150. And this morning it's like 120, 125. And so that's always like a really interesting kind of side note for those that are into health comm. Is like one time I was riding all summer, and I was riding with my brother-in-law, and we compared, and my heart rate was like 15 BPM lower than his, and he was very comparable in size and what we were doing. And I was taking twice the amount of a beta blocker that I am now. And my sister, who's a pharmacist, was like, you should talk to your doctor about, like, reducing your beta blocker. And I did, and I've been fine. And like, it's actually been great since I ride. I do lower my blood pressure naturally that way, and my heart rate. But it was kind of like I was juicing when I retrospectively looked at it and saw how, like, sports people use beta blockers to, like, calm themselves when they're, like, doing professional shooting and different kind of sports that require, like, a steadiness and calmness, like cyclists and things like that. So anyways, random note for you all. Hope y'all are having a good day, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.